My girlfriend said, I need a real man in front of our friends. So I just smiled and left. This morning, my phone exploded with 32 missed calls. It happened at Connor's birthday party. Lauren stood up during dinner and announced to our entire friend group, I've been seeing someone else. I need a real man, not a kindergarten teacher who makes $30K a year. Everyone went silent. Then Connor actually started clapping. Finally, we've all been saying, you deserve better. The whole table nodded like they'd rehearsed this. I just smiled, put down my fork, and walked out. No drama, no begging. What they didn't know, I'd been teaching kids during the day, but spending nights getting my pilot's license. My broke teacher savings account actually had 180K from cryptocurrency investments I'd made 3 years ago. But here's the real kicker. My uncle had been battling cancer for months. He owned a small aviation company that did scenic tours and flight training. 2 days before Connor's party, he'd asked me to take over the business when he retired. The company was worth $1.2 million debt-free. I'd been keeping it quiet while I finished my commercial pilot certification. Lauren knew about my uncle's business, but thought it was just some tiny operation with a couple old planes. She had no idea about the government contracts, the corporate partnerships, or the fact that we were expanding into helicopter tours next year. The night she humiliated me, I called my uncle and said yes to everything. We started the paperwork immediately. I'd also been secretly applying to international schools. Teaching abroad had always been my dream, but Lauren constantly shot it down, saying it was unrealistic and running away from responsibility. The next week, I put in my transfer request to teach at an international school in Dubai. Posted one photo on Instagram, me in the cockpit of a small plane with the caption, New Adventures, Lauren's new real man. Turns out he was married with 2 kids. His wife found their texts and posted everything on Facebook, tagging Lauren's workplace. She got fired from her marketing job for the drama. The guy's wife also sent screenshots to Lauren's parents, who were mortified their daughter was involved with a married man. Meanwhile, my Dubai teaching position came with a $85K salary, free housing, and I started a weekend flight instruction business. But the real money came from taking over my uncle's company. Within 2 months, I'd expanded to corporate charters and landed a contract with a luxury resort chain worth $400K annually. Connor started following my Instagram again after seeing photos of me flying over Dubai's skyline. Even posted a comment. Dude, had no idea you were doing all this. Tanya from our friend group sent a DM. We all feel terrible about that night. Too late for fake friendship and even faker apologies. This morning, 32 missed calls from Lauren. Her voicemails went from we should talk to full crying breakdowns. Apparently, Connor told her about my pilot license, Dubai job, and the aviation business. The first few were casual. Hey, I heard you're in Dubai. That's amazing. Maybe we could video chat. Call 15. I'm so sorry. I had no idea about any of this. I made a terrible mistake. The last message was pure desperation. Please just talk to me. I threw away the best thing in my life. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I love you. I never stopped loving you. I'll do anything to fix this. I listened to exactly 3 voicemails before my uncle called. His voice was shaking. We need to talk about the business transfer right now. I drove to his house and found him sitting at his kitchen table with papers everywhere. He looked 10 years older than last week. I have to tell you something about the company before you sign anything. What he said next made my blood run cold. The contracts, the expansions, the resort deal, none of it was what I thought. Everything I'd celebrated was built on something that could destroy me. Look, I need to back up a bit because what happened next changed everything I thought I knew. When I walked into my uncle's kitchen that morning, the smell of stale coffee and something else, something like fear, hit me immediately. He had this banker's box on the table overflowing with papers. Some of them were highlighted in yellow, others had red marks all over them. Sit down, he said, and honestly, the way he said it made my stomach drop. This wasn't the uncle who'd offered me a $1 million business 2 weeks ago. This was someone who looked like he'd been carrying a secret that was crushing him. I sat across from him, and he pushed a folder toward me. Before you sign anything, before you take over the company, you need to see this. I opened the folder. Bank statements, loan documents, medical bills with amounts that made my eyes water. And then I saw the dates, the payments, the interest rates that were basically criminal. Uncle Dave, what is this? He ran his hand through what was left of his hair. The cancer treatments. Insurance covered maybe 40%. The experimental stuff, the things that actually worked, they didn't cover any of it. I had to pay out of pocket. Okay, but the business, I mortgaged the business 3 times. He pulled out more papers. Every plane we own has a lien on it. The hangar, the office, the equipment, all of it. I owe $1.4 million and the company's only worth about $200K if I liquidated everything today. I felt like someone had punched me in the chest. But the contracts you showed me, the resort deal, fabricated. He wouldn't look at me. I needed to attract a buyer, someone who'd take on the debt thinking they were getting a gold mine. The resort was interested 2 years ago, but they pulled out when they saw our actual numbers. Those documents you saw, I created them to make it look like we had ongoing negotiations. I just sat there trying to process what he was saying. All those Instagram posts I'd made, all the bragging I'd done about taking over this successful company, it was all based on lies. So the government contracts? We had them 5 years ago. They didn't renew. I've been scrambling ever since. taking out loans to keep us afloat, hoping the cancer treatment would work and I'd have time to turn it around. But now I'm in remission, and all I have is debt and a nephew I almost dragged down with me. Why didn't you just tell me the truth? He finally looked at me, and I swear his eyes were wet. Because I'm desperate. Because I thought maybe, just maybe, someone young with fresh ideas and your crypto money could actually save it. But sitting here now, looking at you, I can't do it. I can't let you sign your life away for my mistakes. I stood up, needed to pace, needed to think. My phone buzzed again. Another call from Lauren. I ignored it. Does anyone else know about this? My accountant, my lawyer, and he hesitated. And who? Lauren called me about 3 months ago. She'd been asking questions about the business, said she was trying to understand what you'd be taking on. That's when something clicked in my brain. What exactly did you tell her? Everything. She seemed genuinely concerned about you, about making sure you knew what you were getting into. She asked specifically about the debt, the real value, all of it. My hand started shaking. Uncle Dave, when exactly did she call you? He pulled out his phone, scrolled through his call log. October 15th. We talked for almost an hour. October 15th. That was 2 weeks before Connor's birthday party. 2 weeks before she humiliated me in front of everyone. The timeline was starting to make a horrible kind of sense. Did she say anything else? She asked if I'd talked to you about taking over yet. I said I was planning to bring it up soon. She said something like, "That's good. He needs to step up and take some real responsibility." At the time, I thought she was being supportive. I pulled out my laptop. I need to use your Wi-Fi. I logged into my email, the one I used for business stuff, and started searching. Lauren had access to this account. I'd given her the password months ago when she was helping me organize some documents. I searched for my uncle's name. There it was, an email chain I'd never seen, between Lauren and my uncle going back 4 months. My hands were actually shaking as I read them. Dave, I'm worried about him. He's so passive, so content with his little teaching job. He needs a push, something to make him prove himself. If you offer him the business, really sell it as this amazing opportunity. I think it'll wake him up. My uncle's response: I don't know, Lauren. The business has some serious problems right now. But he doesn't need to know that right away, right? Once he's committed, once he's invested himself in it, he'll work harder to make it succeed. You know how he is. He'll want to prove everyone wrong. This could be good for both of you. I scrolled down, reading email after email. Lauren systematically convincing my uncle to hide the debt, to fabricate the contracts, to make everything look better than it was. And then I found the one that made me want to throw up. Once he takes over the company and starts making real money, or at least thinks he is, we can get married. I've been patient for 3 years, Dave. 3 years of pretending I'm fine with him making $30K a year teaching kids their ABCs. But if he owns a company, even if it's struggling, at least it looks better. My parents have been asking when he's going to propose, and honestly, I need something to show them. There was more. So much more. Lauren discussing with my uncle how to pressure me, when to bring up the business, how to make it seem like an incredible opportunity I'd be stupid to pass up. And then I saw Connor's name. Connor thinks we should do it at his birthday party. Not offer him the business there, but create a situation where he feels like he has to prove himself. Maybe some public embarrassment. Something that'll make him want to show everyone what he's really worth. I looked up at my uncle. You knew about the birthday party? He looked confused. What birthday party? I showed him the email, watched his face go pale. I swear I didn't know about that part. She never mentioned humiliating you in public. I thought she just wanted me to offer you the business, make it seem attractive. The party thing, that was all her and Connor apparently. I kept scrolling, found emails between Lauren and Connor. Connor wasn't even CC'd on my uncle's email. These were screenshots Lauren had sent to someone else. Someone with the email address tempmail47varai@gmail.com. But I recognized the writing style. The way Connor always typed instead of your, how he never used periods at the end of sentences. So here's the plan. You make the announcement about seeing someone else. Really rub in the teacher salary thing. He'll be humiliated enough to prove something. Then Dave offers him the business, he jumps at it, and once he's locked in with all that debt thinking he's some big shot, you and I can move forward with our thing. Our thing? I screenshot everything and kept digging. Turns out, Connor had been embezzling from his family's construction company for over a year. His dad owned a pretty successful contracting business, and Connor was the accountant. He'd been skimming money, creating fake invoices, the whole deal, but his dad was getting suspicious, was about to hire an outside auditor. Connor's plan was to get me to take over my uncle's debt-ridden business, wait for it to inevitably collapse, and somehow pin his embezzlement on me. The details were vague, but from what I could piece together, he was going to invest his stolen money into my business, then claim I'd defrauded him when everything went south. Make it look like I was the financial criminal, not him. And Lauren's cut? Connor had promised her $50K once his embezzlement was covered up. They'd been planning this for months. I sat back down, trying to process everything. My uncle was watching me, clearly confused about what I was finding. Uncle Dave, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest. Anything. Did Lauren ever offer you money? Tell you she could help with the debt? He shifted uncomfortably. She mentioned she knew some investors. Said if you took over the business, she had connections that could help turn it around. Looking back now, I see how stupid that sounds. I pulled out my phone and started making calls. First to a forensic accountant I'd met through one of my crypto investment groups. Guy specialized in uncovering financial fraud. I explained the situation, sent him everything I'd found, and he said he'd have a preliminary report in 48 hours. Then I called a lawyer. My uncle's lawyer turned out to be borderline incompetent, had basically let my uncle sign away everything without proper counsel. I hired a new one, someone who actually knew what they were doing. The lawyer's first question, do you want to save the business or walk away? Honestly, at that point, I just wanted the truth out. I want to know exactly what I'm dealing with, then we'll decide. While I waited for the forensic accountant's report, I did some digging on Connor. His family's construction company was called Bridgewater Contracting, and they were actually pretty well known in the area. I found their financial reports, the public ones anyway, and started noticing irregularities even I could spot. Connor's Instagram was still public, and he'd been living way above his means. Luxury watches, expensive dinners, a brand new BMW he'd posted about 6 months ago. His salary as a company accountant shouldn't have covered a quarter of that lifestyle. I started documenting everything. Screenshots, dates, locations, built a timeline of Connor's spending versus his known income. The gaps were massive. My phone kept buzzing. Lauren was up to 47 missed calls now. Then she started texting. Please, I know you're mad, but we need to talk. I made a mistake. I was scared of being broke forever. Connor told me you're doing amazing things. I'm so proud of you. That last one almost made me laugh. Proud of me. Right. The forensic accountant called me back in 36 hours instead of 48. You need to hear this now. Can you meet me? We met at a coffee shop near the airport. He had a folder that was somehow even thicker than my uncle's box of papers. Your uncle's business is salvageable, barely. The debt's real, but it's not as catastrophic as it looks. He's been making minimum payments, hasn't missed one in 5 years. His credit's actually decent. The problem is he's been too paralyzed by fear to actually run the business properly. He's been operating at about 30% capacity because he's terrified of taking on more work and failing. Okay, so what does that mean? It means with proper management and your crypto capital as a buffer, you could actually turn this around. But here's the interesting part. He pulled out another section of papers. I looked into this Connor guy you mentioned, ran his financials through some databases I have access to. He's stolen approximately $340K from his family's business over 18 months. I felt my eyes widen. You can prove that. I can show you the patterns. Whether it holds up in court, that's for lawyers. But yeah, this guy's been running a pretty sophisticated scheme. Fake vendors, inflated invoices, kickbacks to himself through shell companies. He's good, but he's not that good. And Lauren? I found some interesting transactions between her and Connor. Nothing illegal on her end, technically, but it's clear they had some kind of financial arrangement. She received 3 payments from him over the last 6 months, totaling about $15K. So she'd already gotten some of her cut. Probably why she felt confident enough to dump me so publicly. The accountant leaned forward. Here's my advice. You have leverage now, real leverage. What you do with it is up to you. I spent the next week planning. The lawyer helped me draft documents, the accountant helped me understand the numbers, and I started making moves. First, I created a fake investment opportunity. Through a mutual friend who owed me a favor, I let it slip that I was starting a cryptocurrency investment fund in Dubai. Using my aviation profits and my teaching salary, I was supposedly offering exclusive early investment opportunities to close friends only. The mutual friend, Jake, thought this was hilarious when I explained the real plan. So you want me to tell Connor you're running a crypto fund? Not just tell him, convince him. Make it sound incredible, like I'm about to make millions, but make it seem like you're not supposed to be telling him, like it's a secret. Jake grinned. You're evil. I love it. Within 2 days, Connor called me. First time we'd spoken since the birthday party. Hey man, heard you're doing some crazy stuff in Dubai. That's awesome. I kept my voice neutral. Yeah, it's been good. Look, I know things got weird at my party. Lauren was going through some stuff. We were all just trying to support her. You know how it is. The gaslighting was almost impressive. Sure. So Jake mentioned something about an investment fund. I'm actually really interested in crypto. Been wanting to get more involved. It's pretty exclusive. I'm only offering spots to people I trust. Come on, we've been friends for years. I've got some capital I'm looking to invest. What's the minimum? I pretended to hesitate. Minimum's $50K, but honestly, Connor, I don't know if I can do $50K, seriously. When do you need it? We set up the deal. Fake contracts, fake fund documents, everything looked legitimate. Connor wired $50K to an account I'd set up specifically for this. The money went into an escrow account controlled by my lawyer. Completely legal, completely traceable. Meanwhile, I started the social media campaign. Posted photos from Dubai, me with colleagues from the international school, flying over the city, having dinner at expensive restaurants, tagged everyone from the old friend group. Lauren's comments started immediately. Wow, looks amazing. So happy for you. We should catch up soon. She was DMing me constantly too. The messages got more desperate each day. I know I messed up, but I miss you. Can we please just talk? I've been going to therapy, working on myself. The married man scandal was still fresh. Her Facebook was a disaster. The wife had done a number on her, posting screenshots of their conversations, photos they'd sent each other, everything. Lauren had gone from respected marketing professional to town homewrecker in about 2 weeks. She'd gotten fired, lost most of her friends, and her parents were apparently barely speaking to her. I knew this because Tanya, despite everything, still felt guilty and kept me updated. She's living back with her parents, Tanya told me over video chat. They're super religious, super strict. She has a curfew at 28 years old. It's kind of sad, honestly. And Connor? Weird. He's been acting really paranoid lately. Keeps asking about you, what you're doing, how much money you're making. It's getting creepy. Perfect. The forensic accountant finished his full report. It was 47 pages of detailed financial analysis, proving beyond doubt that Connor had embezzled $340K. We had bank records, fake invoices, everything. I made copies. Lots of copies. Then I waited. Connor called me after 3 weeks. Hey, so about that investment, when can I expect returns? These things take time. Crypto's volatile. Right, but like ballpark? Could be months, could be a year. You know how it works. I could hear the stress in his voice. It's just, I might need to withdraw soon. Family stuff. There's a early withdrawal penalty, 30%. Plus you lose all potential gains. Silence. Then, I'll think about it. I knew what was happening. Connor's dad had hired that outside auditor. Connor was panicking, trying to get liquid cash to cover his tracks. 2 days later, Connor called again. I need to withdraw the full amount. Are you sure you'll lose 15K? I'm sure. How fast can you process it? I'll need a week to liquidate your position. Make it 3 days. I waited exactly 3 days. Then I sent Connor a message through the same mutual friend. The crypto fund doesn't exist. Congrats on losing everything like you tried to make me do. I blocked him everywhere, but I'd already sent everything I'd found, all the proof of his embezzlement, to his father's office, anonymously through a lawyer. Connor's dad apparently called an emergency family meeting that same night. By the next morning, the cops were involved. I posted one more Instagram story, a photo of a sunset from my apartment in Dubai with the caption, "Sometimes the best revenge is just living well." Lauren shared it, commented, "This is so beautiful." I didn't respond. The expose came next. I'd spent weeks compiling everything. The emails between Lauren and my uncle, the texts between Lauren and Connor, the financial records showing their arrangement, screenshots of Connor's embezzlement evidence, the timeline of how they'd planned to trap me. I sent it all to Jake first. "Can you forward this to the group chat? Leave my name out of it." Jake called me immediately. "Holy shit, this is insane. They really tried to screw you over." "Yeah, everyone needs to see this." The email went out to all 23 people in our extended friend group. Within an hour, my phone was exploding. People I hadn't heard from in months were calling, texting, apologizing. Tanya sent a long message. "I feel sick. I had no idea. We all feel terrible. Connor and Lauren swore you were being immature, that you'd dumped Lauren out of nowhere. They made you sound like the villain." Connor's phone was apparently shut off within hours. Lauren's social media went private. But the married man's wife, Christine, she saw the post somehow. One of her friends was in our group. She called me directly. "Is this real? All of this?" "Every word." "Can you send me the original files? I'm still in the middle of my divorce." This would help my case immensely. I sent her everything. She'd been painted as some jealous, controlling wife by her husband. But with Lauren's own words, the premeditation, the planning, it showed a pattern of intentional homewrecking. Christine took that information and ran with it, posted a detailed timeline on Facebook, tagged Lauren's workplace, her old one, tagged Lauren's parents, tagged everyone they mutually knew. This woman knowingly pursued my husband for months. She didn't care that we have 2 children. She didn't care that she was destroying a family. Here's the proof. The post went viral in our hometown. 2,000 shares in 3 days. Lauren's name became synonymous with homewrecker. People she'd known in high school were commenting, sharing their own stories about her. Her reputation wasn't just damaged, it was completely destroyed. My uncle called me a week after everything exploded. "I saw what happened online. I'm so sorry. I should have seen through her. You were desperate. She took advantage of that. What are you going to do about the business?" I'd been thinking about that. I'm going to save it, but not for me, for you. I used 50K of my crypto money to hire a proper business consultant, someone who specialized in turning around struggling companies. We restructured my uncle's debt, consolidated the loans, negotiated better terms, cut his payments by 40% and extended the timeline. Then I helped him hire a proper operations manager, someone who could take over the day-to-day while my uncle focused on staying healthy and occasionally flying. Haha, didn't take over the company, didn't need to. But I became a silent investor, put in 75K for a 30% stake. My uncle kept the majority ownership, kept his legacy, but now had the support to actually succeed. Within 3 months, the business was running at 70% capacity. Actual contracts, real clients, no fabrication necessary. My uncle called me crying when they landed their first major corporate client. "I don't deserve this," he said. "Probably not, but you're getting it anyway." Connor's situation deteriorated rapidly. His family pressed charges: embezzlement, fraud, theft. The DA was pushing for 5 to 7 years. His BMW got repossessed. His apartment got foreclosed. Last I heard, he was living in his cousin's basement, working at a warehouse for minimum wage while awaiting trial. The $50K he'd given me for the crypto fund? My lawyer released it from escrow and returned it directly to Connor's family company as partial restitution. Anonymous donation. The lawyer's note just said, "From someone who believes in doing the right thing." Lauren tried showing up at my parents' house. I'd already warned them everything was coming, showed them all the proof. My dad, who'd always been polite to Lauren, who'd welcomed her to every family dinner for 3 years, took one look at her through the doorway and said, "You're not welcome here. You tried to destroy our son." My mom, standing behind him, added, "We raised him better than to associate with people like you." Lauren apparently started crying, begging them to convince me to talk to her. Said she'd changed, that she was sorry, that she'd do anything. My dad closed the door in her face. She stayed outside for 2 hours, sitting on the porch steps, crying, calling my phone over and over. The neighbors noticed. Mrs. Henderson from next door came out and told her to leave. When Lauren refused, Mrs. Henderson called the non-emergency police line. 2 cops showed up, told Lauren she was trespassing, and escorted her off the property. She tried explaining the situation, saying she was just trying to talk to her ex, but they didn't care. "Ma'am, the property owners asked you to leave. You need to go now." She left finally, but not before posting on Instagram about how cruel my family was being, how she just wanted closure. The comments were brutal. People from our hometown and the people who'd seen Christine's expose tore her apart. "You don't get to play victim. You destroyed your own life. Maybe take responsibility for once." She deleted the post within an hour. My uncle and I were having coffee one morning, about a month after everything settled, when he brought up the contract paperwork we'd never signed. "I still have them," he said. "The business transfer documents. We should probably destroy them." Probably. We burned them in his backyard fire pit. Watched 3 months of manipulation and lies turn to ash. "Can I ask you something?" my uncle said. "Sure. How did you know to check those emails? How did you figure it out?" I thought about that. Honestly, it was the timing. Everything was too convenient. Lauren leaves me right before you offer me the business. Connor's there to orchestrate it. It felt staged. You always were the smart one in the family. I'm a kindergarten teacher. Exactly. You understand people. You see patterns. My Dubai life was actually pretty great. The international school was amazing. Kids from 30 different countries, parents who valued education. My weekend flight instruction business was taking off, no pun intended. I'd get 4 to 5 students every weekend, teaching them basic flying skills. The money was good, but it wasn't about the money anymore. It was about building something real. I posted occasionally on Instagram. Nothing excessive, just normal life updates. Me at school events, flying on weekends, exploring Dubai with colleagues. Lauren viewed every single story, every single post. Never commented anymore, but I could see her username in the view list within minutes of posting. 3 months after Connor's arrest, after Lauren's reputation was destroyed, after everything settled, I got an email from Lauren. Subject line, "I need to explain." I almost deleted it without reading. Almost. But curiosity got the better of me. "I know you hate me. I know you'll probably never forgive me, but I need you to understand why I did what I did. I wasn't lying when I said I loved you. I did. I do. But I was terrified of being poor forever. My parents spent their entire lives struggling. I watched my mom work 3 jobs just to keep us in our apartment. I watched my dad's health deteriorate from stress. When I met you, you were so kind, so smart, so good with kids. I thought teaching was just a stepping stone, that you'd move into administration, become a principal, make actual money, but you didn't. You were content. And that terrified me. When your uncle mentioned the business, I saw an opportunity, a way to push you into being more ambitious. I didn't know Connor was embezzling. I swear I didn't. He told me he had investment money, that he wanted to help us both out. The birthday party thing, that was mostly his idea. I went along with it because I thought it would motivate you. I thought you'd step up and prove everyone wrong. I didn't expect you to just leave. I didn't expect you to already have a plan. I didn't expect any of this. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm just asking you to understand that I made terrible choices out of fear, not malice. I lost my job, lost my friends, lost my family's respect, lost you. I'm paying for what I did every single day, but I want you to know that seeing you succeed, seeing you happy, it makes it hurt less. You deserved better than me. You deserved better than what I did to you. I hope Dubai is everything you dreamed it would be. I hope you find someone who loves you the way you deserve to be loved. I'm sorry for everything, Lauren. I read it twice, felt nothing, then I deleted it. She sent another email the next day, and the next, and the next. They got progressively more desperate. "Please just acknowledge that you got my email. I know I don't deserve a response, but I need to know you read it. I'm trying to move on, but I can't without closure." I blocked her email address. She created a new one, sent more, blocked that too. Then she tried LinkedIn, Instagram DMs from a new account, Twitter, Facebook Messenger. I blocked them all. The final email came from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line was just, "Please." I opened it against my better judgment. "I'm booking a flight to Dubai. I need to see you in person. I need to explain everything face to face. I have money saved up. I've been working at my mom's friend's boutique, saving every penny. I know you probably don't want to see me, but I'm coming anyway. I'll be there next week. We can meet at a coffee shop, somewhere public, somewhere safe. I just need an hour, just 1 hour to talk to you, to explain, to try to fix this. I know we can't get back together. I know I destroyed that, but maybe we can find some kind of peace. Maybe you can forgive me eventually. I'm staying at the Hilton near the marina. I'll be there from the 15th to the 22nd. Please just meet me for coffee. 1 hour. I love you. I never stopped loving you. I made terrible mistakes, but my feelings for you were always real. Please, Lauren. I screenshot the email and sent it to my lawyer. If she shows up here, what are my options? Restraining order, but you'd need to prove harassment. I have about 200 blocked messages across 7 platforms. That'll do it. Want me to file the paperwork? I thought about it, then decided on something different. I didn't respond to Lauren's email, didn't acknowledge it, just waited. The 15th came. My Instagram story views showed Lauren's new account watching from Dubai. She was actually here. I posted a photo of myself at a restaurant with some colleagues from school. Wrote, "Great dinner with great people." Lauren commented from her new account, "I'm here, please call me." I deleted the comment and blocked the account. She sent an email from yet another new address. "I saw you're at dinner. I'm at the Hilton, room 347. Please come by when you're done. Or I can come to you. Just tell me where." I forwarded it to my lawyer. The next email came 2 hours later. "I waited in the lobby for 3 hours hoping to see you. I know you're avoiding me. I understand. But please, just give me 5 minutes. I flew 8,000 miles for you." Another email the next morning. "I'm not leaving until you talk to me. I'll stay here all week if I have to. I'll wait outside your school. I'll wait outside your apartment. I just need to see you." That's when I called the police, showed them everything. The 200 plus blocked messages, the emails, the threat to wait outside my school and apartment. They contacted the Hilton, contacted Lauren, told her she was being investigated for harassment, and that if she attempted to contact me or show up at my workplace or residence, she'd be arrested and deported. Lauren left Dubai the next day, but the emails didn't stop. "I can't believe you called the police on me. I just wanted to talk. You've become so cold. This isn't the man I fell in love with. I'm back home now. My parents are furious. They spent their savings on that trip. They thought I was going for a job interview." I blocked the new email address. Then came the photos, attached to an email from another new address. Subject line, "I still remember us." Photos of us from over the years, vacations we'd taken, dinners we'd had, intimate moments I'd forgotten about, and then new photos of her, intimate photos. Photos she'd apparently taken specifically to send to me. The message said, "Remember what we had. Remember how good we were together. I can be that person again. I can be better. Just give me one chance to prove it. I'll fly back to Dubai. I'll move there. I'll do whatever it takes. You're the only person I've ever truly loved. The only person who ever made me feel safe. I made mistakes, terrible mistakes, but my love for you was always real. Please, I'm begging you. Just one conversation, one chance to prove I've changed. I'll be whatever you need me to be. I'll work on myself. I'll go to therapy. I'll do everything right this time. Just please don't shut me out forever. I love you. I love you. I love you, Lauren." I screenshot everything and forwarded it to her parents with a note. "Your daughter needs professional help. I've asked her repeatedly to stop contacting me. She sent me over 250 messages across multiple platforms, threatened to stalk me at work, flew internationally to harass me, and is now sending inappropriate photos. I've contacted police in both Dubai and our hometown. I have a harassment case filed. I've done everything I can to make it clear I want no contact. She needs help, real help. Please get her into therapy or counseling. This is my final communication regarding your daughter. Any further contact from her or anyone on her behalf will be directed to my legal team. I hope she gets the help she needs, but that help cannot come from me." I sent the email and immediately blocked their addresses too. Then I changed my phone number, created new email addresses, made all my social media accounts private, complete digital blackout from my old life, 2 weeks of silence. Then my mom called. Lauren's mom called me, and she was crying, said Lauren's been hospitalized, some kind of breakdown. They found her at 3 a.m. trying to book another flight to Dubai with money she didn't have, screaming at the airline workers when they wouldn't let her charge $2,000 to her maxed out credit card. I felt nothing. Is she getting help? They put her in a psychiatric facility, 72-hour hold that turned into voluntary admission. She's been there for a week now. Good. Her mom wanted me to ask you to visit, to write her a letter or something. I told her absolutely not. "Thank you. You did the right thing," my mom said. That girl needed help long before any of this. We just didn't see it. My dad got on the phone. And that Connor kid took a plea deal, 4 years. He'll be out in 2 with good behavior. His family? Devastated. His dad had to sell part of the business to cover the restitution. His mom apparently hasn't left the house in weeks. The schadenfreude felt good for about 5 seconds. Then it just felt empty. These were people I'd known for years, people I'd trusted, people who'd tried to destroy me for money and pride. And now they were all suffering the consequences of their choices. I didn't feel victorious. I just felt tired. Life in Dubai continued. I dated a little, nothing serious. Focused on work, on flying, on building a life I actually wanted. My uncle's business was thriving. He'd called me last week to say they'd hit their revenue target 6 months early. Was talking about opening a second location. None of this happens without you, he said. You did the work. I just gave you a push. I almost destroyed your life. But you didn't. You told me the truth when it mattered. 3 months of silence from Lauren. Then one final email from an address I didn't recognize. I'm out of the hospital. I'm in therapy 3 times a week. I'm on medication. I'm living with my parents and working at their friend's boutique. I want you to know I understand now. What I did, how wrong it was, how manipulative and cruel. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect a response. I just need you to know that I'm getting help, real help. My therapist says I have some kind of complex, some deep fear of poverty that made me do irrational things. We're working on it. Connor contacted me from prison, wanted me to write a character witness letter for his parole hearing. I said no. I'm done being part of other people's schemes. I know you've blocked me everywhere. I know you never want to hear from me again. This is my last email, I promise. I hope you're happy in Dubai. I hope you find someone amazing. I hope you never think about me again. I'm sorry for everything. Genuinely, deeply sorry. Take care of yourself, Lauren. I read it once, then I took a screenshot and sent it to my lawyer for the file, in case she tries anything else. Then I forwarded it to her parents. No message, just the email. So they could see their daughter was still trying to contact me despite everything. Subject line, your daughter needs professional help. I deleted the email, blocked the address, and never looked back. Make sure to click on the screen to watch other stories.